Ivan,
Kendra.
are you ready to get uncomfortable?
I sure am.
Ooh!
Hello, welcome to the Market Ready podcast. My name is Jasmine, and today we will be talking about being comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Thanks, Jasmine. And I'm Kendra, and I'm here with our special guest today, Ivan.
Hello.
We're learning how to get comfortable in the uncomfortable. But thanks for correcting me, and I think that's a good thing to call out. So, while we're here, don't give us all the tea, but maybe give us a little snippet of what you're going to share with us today. Maybe a time or a situation where you've had to get comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yes, I immediately think about the time that I moved to this country from Italy when I was 19.
Oh my gosh, wait. So you're from Italy?
Yes, I'm from Rome.
Wow. And so what brought you here?
I just had this dream that I wanted to make books for children, and I knew that I wanted to do it here. And I was really afraid, and I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just had to get comfortable with the uncomfortable and hop on that plane.
I love that. And so, you hear like, yeah, I make books for children, like highly accredited editor, but are you market ready?
I think about being market ready, and I work on it, and I work really hard.
We'll dive in a bit later about Ivan's not quite market ready times, but at least it's on his mind. At least he's thinking about being market ready.
Yeah.
Ivan, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, first of all, yes.
Yeah.
We made it.
We made it. Oh, we made it through the week. My gosh. Has it been a crazy week for anybody else?
Oh my goodness. Indeed.
I'm like, how am I surviving?
I had 3 Mondays this week.
Wait. Wait.
Do we all agree that Monday is the worst day of the week?
I try not to have Monday blues.
Okay.
What about you, Jazz?
Mondays, it's like a chance to get back to my 5 a.m. grind.
But do you?
Lately, I've been sick,
Okay.
so I haven't. I have not been to the gym at 5 a.m. for the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
But
So
But you thought about it.
I thought about it.
And that's the first step.
And on Monday, I will continue that trend. I will go back to my 5 a.m. journey. It's being comfortable in the uncomfortable.
yeah, you're right. You're right, Jazz. And we're getting market ready. We're not yet market ready. We're working on it. So
It's a constant battle.
yeah. But let's go back to you've had 3 Mondays this week. What does that mean, Ivan?
Well, I have a very stressful job. It doesn't sound like it when you say to people, I make books for children, but I work with big brands, like Disney, Netflix, and it's a very stressful environment. And this week we had to work on a lot of projects, and I had to work very, very hard, very long hours, but you have to get comfortable with that.
So-
Because I came here to do it.
Is it all work, no play for Ivan, or what's up?
Well, during the week,
You said, well.
Scratch that. Rewind.
I can be a little wild boy in the weekends,
Ooh.
just to unwind.
Okay. So you had 3 Mondays.
Yes, they were very, very long days.
Worked super hard,
Yes.
but still got wild.
Yes, because I have to reward myself, Being market ready is a journey. It's progress step by step. And you need to reward yourself when you recognize, yes, I'm moving in the right direction.
I love that. You do have to reward yourself, and work hard, play hard is truly a thing. That's something we all practice.
Yes.
We work hard, but we play harder. I'm noticing there's a wristband on your wrist. Do you want to... What is this?
This is proof that I was a wild boy last night. I went to a club and I had a few drinks. And actually, I didn't remember that this was on my wrist until now.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I think last weekend we were outside.
Mm-hmm. Where?
Do you remember we were
in Hell's Kitchen.
We were in Hell's Kitchen. We were in Manhattan. Do you remember that big stamp they put on our wrist? Do you remember?
Do you know that I have a story about that?
Tell us.
I'm gonna keep it PG.
Okay, keep it PG. Keep it PG.
So, that night when I came back home, I met up with a friend, and
Wait.
Kendra took you
I
home.
took you home. Okay, listen. Here's the tea. I escorted Ivan home. Luckily, we're neighbors.
yes, we are.
But Ivan was acting as if I was kidnapping him. Like, where are we going? What train are we on? When are we getting off? Oh my gosh, I hope you're taking me home. I'm totally trusting you right now, Kendra. I hope I'm going home. So you're telling me when we got out the car, you then went
I didn't go.
and hung out with somebody.
No, I got home and someone texted me, and they were asking me what I was doing and if I was up to having a little bit of fun, and I said yes, of course. Um, but the morning after, I woke up and there was this huge black stain on my sheets that I spent so much time thinking about, where did it come from? What is this? Like, did something weird happen last night? And then I looked at my hand and I remember, oh, it was that huge stamp.
Yeah. So
I literally had to scrub my skin off to get that stamp off.
Yeah. And so we'll give you the rundown. I can't even remember what like club bar it was in Hell's Kitchen. I just remember Reggie being like, Kendall Jenner was here. But we went to this place, and instead of stamping you with a reasonable stamp, maybe even an invisible stamp because it is the 21st century, like we
Yes.
do have those, they take this big black, like thick stamp. It's just a black bar.
It was thick. It was about this big.
Yeah, exactly.
The
About as
size of your
big-
hand.
The size of your entire back of your hand, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they take it and they stamp it on you, and you're just left with this big mark for days.
For days.
Talk about secondhand embarrassment, like telling everybody what I did this weekend.
Yeah, no, I scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed until it came off. Because no, I will not show up at my law firm
Yes.
with that stamp on my hand.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh. So I don't even remember how we even got there to last weekend. But that's hilarious. I would be very concerned, like, where did this black stain come from?
Yes. That was my morning. I was like, where did this black stain come from? And I'm lucky that I had like eyes and I could like put two and two together, but it was a mystery, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I even thought about making it into a book for children, like The Mystery of the Black Stain.
Maybe you should. New bestseller?
New bestseller
Check it out.
on the New York Times this soon.
Okay.
Oh.
I want my credit on that though.
Oh, you will get a signed copy.
Okay. Wait, no, I want like author credit.
Oh, she wants royalties.
Exactly. Duh.
See, be market ready.
Market ready.
Always ready to jump on new opportunities.
Always ready. We got to write a book one day, but that's besides the point.
A kid's book.
A kid's book, yeah.
We should.
We should. So, Jazz.
Kendra.
Ooh. Jazz has had quite the week.
Oh my God.
Tell us about it. We want to
This
hear.
week. This week. Talk about being comfortable and uncomfortable. Oh my goodness. I literally was on my deathbed this week. I was not having a good week. I'm okay now.
Okay.
I was like 6 feet or...
Yes, I was a little bit concerned. I didn't know where that was going. So
yeah. So basically, I think it's because I got the flu shot. I never, ever, ever get the flu shot. And all of a sudden, never. And like the flu shot, and like 2 weeks later, I'm sick. I'm dying. I'm coughing my lungs out. Like I have so much mucus. Like it's too much. It's a lot.
Jazz.
the flu shot can be a lot. But what made you change your mind this year? You said never get it, right?
Yeah, you never get it. So
No,
why'd
I
you
never
get it
get
this
it.
year?
Because my good friend Kendra was like, I'm getting the COVID booster, the flu shot, everything. And I was like, oh, my work is offering it. She's like, you need to get it.
Yo, because you're not about to catch me. You're not about to catch me like that. I don't have time to be sick.
Yes. We don't have
We
time
don't have time to
No, it literally messed up the entire plans. Like, I taught a class on Tuesday, and it was one of the worst classes I've ever taught in my entire life. It was so bad.
She did her best.
But it was taught, and we're moving past it. And then on Thursday, I was supposed to teach Pilates. and then help teach strength. And I literally could not get out of bed.
Wow.
My body ached so bad. And it's not like when you work out and your body aches. Nah. I like the chills. I was hot and cold, had a headache. My throat was hurting. Mocos were falling out of my nose. I was a mess. A mess.
So
Yeah.
I love you, but I'm glad I wasn't there to see it.
when Jazz can't come to work, that means
Kendra's gonna step in.
that Kendra is stepping in and teaching all the classes. So I've had quite the week as
Correct.
well myself.
Correct.
I think I've taught close to 7 classes this
Wow.
week. Also taught a 2-hour-long inversion clinic just before this.
Wow. Yes. I've never been upside down for so long in my life.
But you like it, huh?
I loved it. It was so peaceful, and I felt like a dancer a little bit when I was up in the air, you know?
Yeah.
And you want to prove to yourself that you can do things, commit to it. I wanted to learn how to do inversions. We talked about it.
Yeah, we did talk about it.
We set up a workshop for everyone, and everyone was up in the air.
I know. Everyone got their inversion. It was awesome.
It was fun.
Awesome.
It was a lot of fun. Jazz, you didn't even do it. What are you
I
talking about?
recorded it all.
Jazz did record it all. So always remember that in all the content and stuff that you guys see, there's always someone behind the scenes. Always, whether it's me, Jazz, Eve, Ivan, anybody, someone's always behind the scenes. So
Yeah.
thank you for being behind the scenes today. I'm sure we have excellent footage.
I needed to be behind the scenes today. I could not go upside down.
And why is that, Jazz?
Last night.
Oh.
Let me tell you about last night.
Oh.
Last night.
Oh.
Okay.
My good friend Kendra calls me.
Eve, wait. Did it happen like that?
Yes. I was coming off from work. I was like, I just want to go to the gym, plan my playlist for tomorrow for my flow, and go to bed.
I don't know if that's how this happened, but it's fine.
That's not what happened. She calls me as I'm getting out of work. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to the gym. This and that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a full body. I'm gonna do a recording. Like, I'm telling her my plans. And she was like, Jazz, I want to be chaotic.
I didn't say that. No, I did not say that about last night.
Wait, okay. She was like, I really want this amazing Japanese place that we've been getting lately.
Yes. And we're not going to
Honestly,
tell you what it's called. Sorry.
No, we're gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping that. But we've gone 3 times this week.
And it's the best ramen I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're based out of Japan. I'll bring you. I tried to bring you that one night, but you wanted octopus instead.
Oh.
Yeah. You and Reggie went and got octopus. But anyways, shout out Reggie.
So, I'm like, yeah, let's go get some food. I was like, but you have class tonight. Like, you have teachers, or no, it was training.
Yeah, we had a new instructor, and so it was one of her first classes. So I was there to help train her. And
yeah, and she was like, okay, but like the next, Kendra looked at the reservations and was like, the next one isn't until 10. I'm like, that's a big gap from 8:30 when she's done with class till 10 o'clock. We have a big gap. So we go see
our favorite bartender.
Yes.
Yeah. Also gatekeeping that.
Correct. He's amazing. We love him. And he got us pretty lit.
Yeah.
Bartenders know how to do that.
Yes. And you're the best. Like, we're talking Clase Azul, like, in
drink
a very
drink after drink.
But we're in a very beautiful, classy,
by the water,
nice establishment in Manhattan.
Nice.
And this has been our spot for
a year,
yeah,
since I moved to New York.
Yeah, like, favorite bartender, you know exactly who you are. We appreciate you. Both of them. I forgot. Both of them. The second one's new. Second one just got a promotion to manager, so we're very happy for you. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
But to our favorite bartender, you know we love you. But yeah, it's been like a year and a half.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What a relationship.
But okay. Back up. While I'm at the gym, Kendra's sending me places to go to after the Japanese spot. She's like setting the eye emojis. And it's like, ooh, but this place. And it's right next to the restaurant.
Okay, so here's where I got on that. So recently, so in the last episode of the podcast, I talked about how I was going on dates with somebody who was making me feel imposter syndrome. Yeah, that didn't work out. Anyways,
Right.
I've been seeing someone else who is from the past, and we took a long hiatus, but decided to start chatting again. And this person likes to go to very nice places. And so it's really opened my eyes to like, there is more in the city that we're just not like discovering. So I'm like, it's great to go there on dates, but like, I don't know, you shouldn't wait for a boy to do anything. So I'm like, why don't me and my friends go explore these like cool places? So I was finding some and sending them to Jazz.
And I'm like, I'm down. Yes, let's go. It's not very hard for Kendra to convince me to do something. It's not.
Most of the time.
Correct.
They asked me to join, but I wasn't a date.
Correct. We invited Ivan, but
I know.
I'm sorry, I was a boy.
On a date. You want to tell us about your date?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh.
Because, things are brewing. And,
Yeah.
we just want to see where this goes. But
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're all doing. Don't get me wrong. We're all just seeing where this goes.
I know.
Can't relate. I have nobody. Nobody.
Jazz, basically same. Like,
Shut up.
Jazz.
They lied.
We're not lying.
They lied. Look at
Literally.
these gorgeous women. Come on.
Okay, let's start with Jazz though, because I think that there is still a person that you need to have a conversation with, right?
Yes.
But no, because I tried to have that conversation. I even called to have that conversation.
Okay, and they didn't pick up the phone, but y'all are still texting. So,
but I took a week to text back this time.
Jazz, but are you practicing getting comfortable in the uncomfortable?
She called. Who calls today?
I call all the time. Oh my gosh, you don't call?
No, here's the thing. I called and they told me that they'd call me back and they never called me back. That's not on me.
Facts, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But wait, let's get into this. You don't call?
I don't like to call a lot. I prefer texting, but I'm also someone who, as a hopeless romantic, I like a little FaceTime in the evening,
Yeah.
But no, I don't like to call people because I think that it puts pressure on them to pick up the phone at that moment, And maybe they want to think a little bit about what they want to say, especially at the beginning of a relationship, Yes, this is who I am. Very romantic.
I think that's a neat take. That's a neat take.
It's a hot take.
That's a
Kendra called everybody.
That's a hot take. And you know who you are. If you ever listen to this, you know that those words came directly from your mouth. Anyways. Jazzy threw me off.
Notice her reaction right now. Just notice her body language. The minute she froze and she's telling me she doesn't have anybody. That she's in the same boat as me.
Jazz.
Stop, because no one would make me do what you just did.
Yeah.
Whatever. Moving on. We're talking today about being comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Yes.
And I think we all have situations to where we can like talk about like, yeah, we've had to just get comfortable with something that like isn't our typical nature, something that's not our like natural pattern, habit, maybe a different space, different people, different relationships, like things that we have to get like comfortable in, even though it's something that's uncomfortable for us. So I'm excited to talk about that today.
Same.
And we're going to start off with Jazz.
My story.
Okay, Jazz. I would really like for you to talk to us about a time where you had to get comfortable with the uncomfortable in your life.
Ooh, I think it was the first time that I ever moved, like away from my family, completely away. I grew up in Arizona with my mom and my sister and my stepdad and my stepbrother. And I was like, I want something different. I want a 360. I want the complete opposite. And that's what I did. I went and applied to schools in Massachusetts, in Maine, in New York, And I decided to go to the furthest state, the furthest, coldest, and emptiest state of them all.
Really? Which one?
I chose to go to Maine.
Wow. That's a big move.
It's a huge move. It's different coast, completely different coast. And I knew my ultimate goal was New York. Like that's been my dream since like freshman year of high school. And so I'm like, I think New York is just too much at first. Like I knew nothing. And so my big move to Maine, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. I went to a predominantly white institution. It was a culture shock, to say the least. I was completely uncomfortable. I was at a rigorous academic school.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just so many things, so many new things. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I love being uncomfortable. Like, is it weird? Is this normal? Am I normal?
I think that's normal. I think that's normal because growth is messy. You know, when you are moving towards something new and you're becoming a new version of yourself, there is always a feeling of something is falling apart, and that's actually the old version of yourself that is making space.
Which is wild, because it's like, that's the part that's
wild.
uncomfortable.
But that's progress.
Yeah.
And so what made you keep going during the hard times when you were really, really uncomfortable with what was happening? Was it like your dream to make it to New York and be...
So once I got to Maine, I was like, oh my God, I hate this. It's cold. It's lonely.
It is cold.
It's in the middle of freaking nowhere.
It's really cold.
But then like I met some truly amazing people who are still my friends to this day, and I love them with all my heart. And so instead of going all the way back to Arizona for like Thanksgiving, or like, I don't think I've been home for Thanksgiving in the past 6 years.
Oh.
Which is wild to say now. Like the old me would have been like, what? Like, are you okay? Like, do you have family issues? But no. So like I remember the first time that I left for Thanksgiving, I left with a friend who lived in the Bronx.
Okay.
And I stayed with her and her mom, and literally I was like, yeah, New York is where I need to be. Like, and funny story, New York was my dream because of my sister. My sister, when we shared a room together, I remember her creating a collage of her future. And it was like to be in New York fashion. And like that was her dream.
Oh.
She didn't end up going that path. But from that moment on, I was like, if you're not going to make it, I'm going to make it there. And so like that's been my motivation to make it to New York to begin with. And like, what if I don't want to be in fashion? That's not me. It's never been me. But I was like, I'm gonna do something in New York that makes me happy.
Yes.
And so then law makes me happy, which is another crazy statement that normal people would not say.
I don't know. I have some people in my family that would agree with that statement.
Really? Oh my God, that's great. But yeah, I went to New York with my friend who lives in the Bronx, stayed with her and her family for Thanksgiving, and then I would come back every so often with her to see her mom, see her family. And it's like I grew a community within New York for myself, and I'm like, New York is where I need to be. So I literally applied to over like 600 jobs my junior year and senior year, and I got accepted to one.
You just need the one.
I just needed the one.
You just need one yes.
Yeah.
And you have to jump on that opportunity, which is also part of being comfortable with the uncomfortable, because you need to, there are those moments in life where if I don't jump on this train right now, I will regret it.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's how you felt moving from Italy to New York.
Yes, absolutely.
Talk about being comfortable and uncomfortable. Like, I just moved across the country. Moved
across the ocean. Yes.
So, Ivan, you did the hard thing. You moved from Italy all the way over here by yourself. You were 19?
I was 19.
And so I'm sure at the time you were very nervous about that decision. And so if you could just look back and talk to yourself back when you were 19, like, what's something that you would share with yourself?
I would share with myself that the moment I realized that I was really uncomfortable with that step was also the moment that I realized that I have everything that I need inside of me to create the best life for myself. And I knew that I wanted to come to New York no matter what, no matter what. I knew that since I read James and the Giant Peach, the book that literally made me want to write for children and do it in New York. And if I could really look back and talk to my 19-year-old self that was crying, hugging his mom at the airport before jumping on the plane, I would say, baby, just do it because you are going to be amazing. And yes, it was really hard. I left my father in Rome, my mother in Rome, 4 siblings. We are so close, and we only see each other for Christmas. And that's um, something that sometimes it's hard for me. But they also know that I'm here because I'm pursuing a dream. And there are those moments during the year when I think, how much more comfortable would I feel home? And then I remind myself, you are home. You are the home that you chose for yourself. And I'm proud of that. And that means a lot because, as I was saying before when we were chatting, you need to reward yourself. You need to remind yourself, it's been really hard to get here, but you made it. And sometimes I think when we look back at really uncomfortable moments, hindsight is 2020, right? You look back and you're like, but it wasn't really that bad. There was also a little bit of excitement because I knew that growth was coming. You know, like I was terrified when I hopped on that plane, but when I landed, oh my God, I will never forget my first time in Times Square. I literally dropped to my knees and started crying because I was like, I'm here.
Feeling comfortable and uncomfortable. How does that make you feel?
Dude, I feel like it's so unfair because every time we film this, I have a new situation. So I guess just to share my life with everyone. So I am a therapy girly. I think therapy is incredible. Everyone should go to therapy. We all have stuff we need to work on. But I think that something I realized is I've done lots of work on myself over the years. But some like lessons you can't learn until you're in the situation.
Explain. Give us a situation. Give us an example.
I don't want to.
This is therapy. I'm your therapist right now. I am not licensed to be your
therapy.
therapist, but I'm here.
Okay. So something that I am working on right now is we have identified that I have an anxious attachment style.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means that when I have people in my life, whether it's romantically or platonically, that one, I get attached quickly. And when I attach, I want to always like be around that person or always be hearing from that person just to remind myself that they are still there for me. And that's not healthy. So, you know, in therapy, really uncovering and trying to figure out, because the thing is that we don't realize is the way that we function as an adult, it has a root to when we were like a kid. And so when I was 11, I lost my father, and it was in a very traumatic way. And my mom was 3 months pregnant with my youngest sister. And so it was just a crazy time. And it was a time where we didn't quite get to grieve because we had to pick up and we had to carry on. And I think I did lose my father. It was very public. And so when you go through something like that as a kid and it's very public and the community is looking to you to be okay, you have to make sure that you're at least acting like you're okay so that other people don't crumble and collapse. And so with losing my father in a very abrupt instant way, being so young and not being able to fully heal from that. I've carried that grief on with me. And in my attachments to other people, I constantly worry that I'm going to lose them in the same manner. That, Jazz, don't smile at me like that. But so my anxious attachment style has developed throughout the years. It stems from that, but I think other things happen, like you have relationships, and I've had 2 serious relationships that have both ended very like abruptly and traumatically, and that leads into it. I think modern day dating culture leads into it because people form these instant attachments and they go all in, and then you detach instantly and you go back to being strangers. And that's something that I'm just not used to. That doesn't like speak to my character. I'm a very all-in person. If I'm attaching to you, if I'm investing in you, like you say, you're ride or die. Like, I'm not ride or die, but if I've decided that I want you in my life, like, I am preparing to have you there. And so me being comfortable in the uncomfortable, like we talked about earlier, I have started re-seeing somebody. And listen, y'all, and you know who you are, so I don't really care if you hear this. I don't know if this is going to work out. Like, I want to preface everything that I say with, like, I do not know if any of these situations are going to work out right.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt. I am just sharing what I am currently going through. Do not know how any of this will materialize. But this particular person is very busy. He works in investment banking. And so that means that, like, you know, he's working all the time at the office till 2 a.m., like, not on his phone, can't, like, have dates every week if it's a busy week, like. And for me, I'm used to, like, when I'm dating someone, I'm used to having, like, almost constant, like, contact with them.
That's not really healthy.
That's not healthy, you guys. Like, that's not healthy. The other people who I've dated have had less going on in their life, okay? So it's new. And just it makes me uncomfortable. Let's just be honest. It makes me uncomfortable. It makes me constantly question, am I still seeing this person? Are they still interested in me? Am I still interested in them? Like, is this still something I want to do? Because it's like I don't have that constant, like, yeah, this is what we're doing, that constant, like, reassurance. And, like, the thing is you shouldn't need to be constantly reassured because that should come from within. And so something that I am working on is being comfortable in this phase of just, like, uncomfortability. Like, it is uncomfortable for me to not always see, like, the person who I'm interested in. It's uncomfortable. And so I realized that that's something in me, though, that I have to work on healing. And so that's why, like, in therapy, we're diving into my, like, anxious attachment style, because whether it works out with this person or not, it really, really could possibly not. So once again, take this with a grain of salt. But whether it's this person or the next person, that's something I need to heal within myself so that I can have healthier relationships moving forward.
And it's like, it's not like you're sitting around doing nothing. You're also very busy.
That is the thing. That's the thing that drives me nuts is I'm so busy too. So it's like, then I'm like, dang, I get it. Like, wow, it took me 6 hours to text back. Like, I get it. I get it. But why is it so different when it's someone doing it to me? Because I have friends. A shout out Olivia. Olivia is my longtime best friend. Met her freshman year of college. We've been rocking hard ever since. Her and I, sometimes it takes us a week or two to text each other back. But I don't think that makes, like, I never assume, oh, Olivia doesn't, like, love me anymore. Like, I never, like, it doesn't do anything to our friendship. So why is it so different when you're, like, dating someone? That's a strong word.
It's not even dating. Because,
that's what I said.
Because, like, you
get
mad at me
I do
for not texting you back.
Oops. Yeah.
She'll be like, oh my God, why aren't you answering me? And then she'll FaceTime me.
So here's the tea, guys. Here's the tea. Yeah, I need attention. Okay? From my friends, from my romantic partners, from my family, and it comes from my mother. Let's talk about Kimmy for a second.
Dang,
Kimmy!
calling your mother out.
Because my mother will call me all the time. I talk to my mother every day. And, you know, she will call and she will text, and sometimes I don't respond. And if I don't respond, she is going to follow up. And she's going to hit me with the hello. Yeah, Jazz. So you're right. Go ahead. Continue. You're right.
No, that was it. That's so it's not just in your romantic relationships. It's in your platonic. And I feel like I'm not trying to be a therapist right now, but
Yeah.
there are times where it's like the friend that you have from college,
Yeah.
she's not in your life day to day anymore. I am. So it makes a little sense.
Okay. So yes, that is the difference. If you were in my day-to-day life, I do expect to hear from you. Yes, I do. And I'm working on that because we're all busy. We all have things to do. Sometimes we just don't want to text back. I mean, with Jazz, it's bad for sure. I mean, we talk on the phone or FaceTime
Every day.
A significant amount of the hours during the day, but we don't always have to, like, we're not always saying stuff. We're just like working.
Literally.
We'll be at our desk working, whatever. But yeah, so I guess let me challenge all of you guys to, one, identify your attachment style. Because I am not the only one who's anxiously attached. I can tell you that right now. Jasmine is avoidant.
I'm very avoidant. I think that ties into me running away all the time.
She's a runner.
Hence why I left Arizona, went to Maine, the furthest I could possibly go at the time. I tend to do that. I'm working on it.
She's a runner. She's a track star. She's going to run away when it gets hard. Anyway.
But we're working on it.
This is
why we're both in therapy.
This is why we're both in therapy. We're not perfect. That's the thing. Like, we are not yet market ready. The goal is that, honestly, you'll never be market ready. You got to keep striving towards it. It is a daily commitment.
It is.
Every day. But I challenge all of you guys, identify your attachment style.
And that's the first step.
That's the first step.
Acknowledging you have a problem.
Yes, acknowledging you have a problem. And once you identify it, then start to figure out, where does it root from? Where does it stem from? And then how is it manifesting in my current life? Whether that's friendships, relationships, like situationships, like, where is that manifesting, that attachment style? Maybe it's your job. Figure out where that's manifesting in your current life. And I feel like once you start there and you understand,
you're living in the uncomfortable.
You
think we wanted to do this? You think we wanted to dive deep into our childhood, relive moments that were literally traumatizing. Do
you think I want to talk about it now?
Right?
No, but
like we both have daddy issues. Like,
we both have daddy issues. Yes.
Identify
do you have daddy issues or mommy issues or both? Identify that as well.
I think we have a little bit of both.
Life. So that's our homework for you guys today. But moral of the story is, like, we're all living in the uncomfortable, and living in the uncomfortable means identifying it. Identify what makes you uncomfortable and putting yourself in that situation. Because honestly, it's like, okay, like, you could choose not to be friends with the person who's less responsive. You can choose not to date the guy who can't text you all the time. Or you can choose to take a look at yourself and say, let me heal this within myself, whether or not that person's in my life. And I think that that's what's most important.
Yeah, that's the point.
Ooh, we done spilled the tea. What was it like your first time in Times Square?
Oh my God. So, like, every child who didn't grow up in America, you watch a lot of movies and you learn about Times Square from movies. You see this incredible place full of lights where there's so much excitement and, like, everyone is there. And the first time, I didn't even know that my hotel was actually right around the corner. And when I came to New York, my English wasn't really perfect yet. So I was asking for some directions. And I remember asking, where's Times Square? And someone just said, follow the lights. And that's just a phrase that I will never forget in my life. I follow the lights, and at some point I turned a corner, and I found myself next to that very famous red staircase that is there. And it was night because I landed late at night at the airport. And my eyes open, my heart, my chest, it was like soaring. And I dropped to my knees because I really my knees just gave up. And I started crying. And there were tears of joy for finally being here. There were also tears of fear because I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it. And the one thing that I promised myself in that moment in Times Square was, if you decide to go back home, it's going to have to feel right. You're not going to give up on this. And I can tell you that I've been here for 10 years.
Oh, and I love to hear that. I think that's something that we all go through. So, we talked about imposter syndrome last time, and, moving to a place like New York City is the ultimate, oh my gosh, can I make it here? And most people don't.
Most people don't.
And so it's I'm 3 years in. You have been here. Wait, how long have you been here?
I was in New York for college from 2015 to 2019. Then I moved a little bit around, and now I'm back.
Yeah, so it's to have logged all of those years in a city that most people can't survive one is a huge deal. And I've been to Italy. New York City is nothing like Italy.
Not at all.
And so I guess when you moved here, how did you get used to the city? Because I think people who don't live here don't really understand, it's a very unique place.
Yes.
We all move very fast.
Yes.
We're all doing a gazillion things. And it can be hard to really establish a family, a community here. And so how did you do that for yourself?
It is true. New York City is a very interesting environment. Everybody is always moving really fast, and it always feels like no one has time for other people. But I think it's actually seeing past that and understanding that people are getting used to the idea that if you want to live in New York, yes, you have to live a very fast-paced life. But everyone is looking for connections, and you just have to give it an opportunity. And the way I did it, I was just being very intentional. I just wanted to talk to people. I just wanted to let them know, hey, I'm here. I made it to this city, and you're the first person that I'm meeting. Do you want to be my friend? And it was really uncomfortable at first because, this is a great city. People love each other, but it can also be very cruel sometimes, especially to an immigrant, to someone who speaks with an accent. Something that I always say is that in my first 5 years, I was often one of the only people in the room speaking with an accent, and that was a very isolating experience. But then at the same time, I started connecting to people because they wanted to listen to my story. They wanted to know, what was it about me that made me so passionate about children's books? And then, yes, you learn to find people that are like-minded like you, and that they're also feeling the same way. And it took a little bit of time because a lot of people come into your life and then they just leave, and that's really sad. But as my mother always reminds me, look at the ones who stayed. Those are the people that really matter. And I'm really grateful that I was able to find them in a city like New York City, which is truly exciting, but it's also a concrete jungle sometimes,
And it is quite the jungle. Let's not, we won't sugarcoat it.
No.
Sometimes we are out here fighting for our lives.
Yes, we are.
But we love it. I couldn't, sure, maybe one day I'd live somewhere else, but I will always have a home base here.
Yes.
Was there a specific place, your closest friends now, the people who you see all the time? Is there anywhere specific that you were able to meet them? How did you guys connect with each other?
Well, what is really interesting is that I'm actually in a moment of my life where, like we were talking about before, I had to leave behind a version of myself and people that were part of that version of myself, because I just came back to New York from Chicago, where I was for 2 years for work. And I wasn't able to build a community there for myself, except for a few people. And now that I came back here, where I also only left a few friends, I created a whole new community in just a span of a few months, which has been an incredible experience for me. And where did I meet them? I met them at the Market Ready studio, um, doing yoga classes. And I still cannot believe that some of these people have been in my life for 5 months, because it feels like they've been there forever. And I am just so grateful that I was able to find people who are intentional about being part of a community. They're not just hoping to be sucked into something, they look for it. And I'm also really grateful that someone like you provided a space for making that happen. Because
Wait, someone like me?
yes,
Oh.
yes, because if it wasn't for you, me and the people we're talking about, and even you, we would not have been able to meet. We would not have been able to call each other friends. We would
Yeah.
not be doing this right now.
Very true. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Kendra. And thank you, Market Ready. You changed my life.
Okay. Ivan, thanks so much for coming on the Market Ready podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Jasmine.
So tell us, are you ready to be comfortable in the uncomfortable?
Absolutely. I don't think anyone is ever fully ready, but you know that you can face that the next time.
You can, because it's just growth, right?
It is. Yeah, it's growing pains.
Yes, and
It
growth
always
is
hurts.
messy, but growth is necessary.
It is. And growth is messy. But we're all just doing the best we can, working
Every day.
daily to become market ready.
And we're not doing it alone.
And we're not doing it alone. We have each other. We have you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Kendra.
And I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Ivan.
And this is the Market Ready podcast.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.